in charge. One last run for Bell in the outside lane. Can he get there? He cannot. Thinks about a crossover. It won't happen. Denny Hamlin, big-time victory in Nashville.
Denny Hamlin started first, went last, and then won the race. How does someone even do that? Sunday night at Nashville Superspeedway was one of the wildest NASCAR races in a long time. Rain, penalties, brake failures, and a three-wide battle for the win on the very last lap. Let's break down everything that happened. Before we even get to the race, the weekend was already a mess. Rain hit Nashville on Saturday and wiped out qualifying completely. That meant NASCAR had to set the starting lineup using their rule book. Denny Hamlin got the pole position. Tyler Reddick, who leads the championship standings, lined up right next to him in second. Last week's race winner, Daniel Suarez, and Christopher Bell started on the second row. Joe Gibbs Racing had 3 of their cars inside the top 6 starting spots before the race even began. Then on Sunday, more rain came. The race was supposed to start at 7 in the evening, but everyone had to wait. 80 minutes later, the green flag finally dropped, and when it did, things went wrong almost immediately. Hamlin jumped the start. He took off too early from the pole position, looked in his mirror, and no one else had moved. NASCAR gave him a penalty right away. On lap 4, he had to drive through the pit lane as punishment. Just like that, the man who started in first place was now sitting in last place, 38th out of 38 cars. Most drivers would panic. Hamlin said nothing on his radio. He just started driving forward. On lap 8, something special happened before the racing even got intense. The crowd at Nashville went completely silent. They were honoring Kyle Busch, the 2-time NASCAR champion who passed away on May 21st at just 41 years old. Busch had won 4 times at Nashville during his career and was one of the most beloved drivers in the sport's history. For Hamlin, this moment hit differently. He is now just 1 win away from tying Kyle Busch's career record of 63 Cup Series victories. After the race, Hamlin talked about what that means to him. Hamlin said,
"Yeah, I mean, it just shows how good he was for so long. And, I saw the stats online where, we ran together 500 and some races and he finished ahead of me 10 more times than I beat him. So, in the same equipment."
That says everything about how great Busch really was. Back to the race. Stage 1 started with Tyler Reddick out front, leading the first 37 laps. Then a competition caution came out so teams could check their tires. Shane Van Gisbergen, the New Zealand driver for Trackhouse Racing, restarted from the lead after his team took just 2 tires. He ran up front for 12 laps and battled hard with Kyle Larson before giving up the lead on lap 54. Then things started breaking. On lap 72, rookie Connor Zeilish had his right front brake rotor explode. His car slammed into the turn 1 wall hard. Flames were coming from under the right tire as he limped back to the garage. He was done for the night, finishing last after starting last. 10 laps later, his Trackhouse teammate Ross Chastain had the exact same problem. His rotor failed and sent him straight into the wall. Michael McDowell spun trying to avoid the crash. Chastain had been one of the fastest cars in practice, but now his night was over too. 2 cars from the same team, same problem, back to back. Chastain had a theory about why it happened. "We're accelerating faster, so we must have to slow down faster," he said. "Miscalculation somewhere." Zeilish added, "Definitely something we need to look at as a team."
Yeah. Yes. I mean, we're accelerating faster, so we must have to slow down faster. But yeah, I don't know. We haven't had the issues others have had here. We've seen others have these issues in the past. Miscalculation somewhere.
Do you think it's a company-wide issue?
I don't know, but I would tell Shane, good luck, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Van Gisbergen, their 3rd Trackhouse teammate, was told by his crew not to worry. His car was running a completely different brake setup. That decision ended up being very important. Stage 1 ended with A.J. Allmendinger taking the win in a photo finish. It was a great result for colleague racing, and Allmendinger looked like he could be a factor all night long. Stage 2 started with Kyle Larson leading until Chase Briscoe passed him on lap 126. Briscoe had never finished better than 17th at Nashville in his entire career before Sunday. He was running well, but the brake problems were not done yet. On lap 173, with just 12 laps left in the stage, Allmendinger's car shot sparks and caught fire before hitting the Turn 1 wall. His brake rotor had failed too, just like Zeilish and Chastain earlier. Allmendinger had won Stage 1 and was running third when his night was over. After being checked by medical staff, he told reporters, "I had no warning signs of the pedal going soft. That was going to be 2 really good stages."
But I had no warning signs of the pedal going soft or felt like I was overusing the brakes. And yeah, so it was a shock when it happened.
What can you say about
Chris Buescher lost his rotor too. Ryan Preece had a piece of rotor break off into his radiator. The brake failures were happening everywhere. Meanwhile, Daniel Suarez made a smart call. He stayed out during a caution instead of pitting for fresh tires, just like he did the week before when he won at Charlotte. He restarted on older tires while others had new ones, and it worked. Suarez won Stage 2. Now comes the final stage, and this is where the night really got crazy. Zane Smith, driving for Front Row Motorsports, was actually leading with 12 laps to go. Nobody expected that. But with the laps winding down, the Joe Gibbs racing cars started closing in. Hamlin, Bell, and Briscoe were all right there. 3 teammates, all in Toyotas, all wanting to win. With 4 laps left, a caution came out and set up a restart. This was the moment. Bell restarted in the lead, Briscoe right behind him, and Hamlin in the mix. On that final lap, Bell and Briscoe were racing each other so hard going into the first corner that it opened a small gap. Hamlin saw it and drove straight to the inside. Now it was Hamlin and Bell side by side down the backstretch. Bell went too deep into Turn 1 on the last lap, which gave Hamlin just enough room to clear off of Turn 2 and take the lead. Hamlin crossed the finish line first, Bell was second, Briscoe was third. Joe Gibbs Racing finished 1, 2, and 3. The winning margin was just 0.115 seconds, less than the blink of an eye. Hamlin described it perfectly after the race.
Well, I think the 20 and the 19 were battling so hard in that first corner. It just let me get to the inside of the 20 in the first corner there after the restart. And from there, it's just side by side with the 20. And he drove in so deep on that last lap into 1 that it just allowed me to barely clear off of 2. But, man, what an unbelievable day. Starting first, going to last, and back to first.
Bell was frustrated but honest. He said, "I had the best car on the racetrack and we had the lead on the restart. I got a great push from Denny on the restart and I didn't win the race." Team co-owner Heather Gibbs watched all 3 of her drivers fight each other for the win. She compared it to kids in the backseat of a car on a family road trip swatting at each other, but she was proud of every single one of them. She said, "We want them to race for the win. That's what they do, and it makes us proud." This was Hamlin's 62nd career win. It was also Toyota's very first Cup Series victory ever at Nashville Superspeedway. Hamlin led 57 laps, more than anyone else. Kyle Larson led 56 laps and finished 23rd. The race had 31 lead changes among 15 different drivers, both new records for Nashville. In the standings, Tyler Reddick still leads, but Hamlin is now just 97 points behind him. Blaney sits third, 174 points back from Reddick. At 45 years old, in his 22nd season, Hamlin is driving better than ever. He has the fastest car most weeks. He leads more laps than anyone. The only thing missing from his career is a championship. The format that hurt him before has changed. The path is clear. The next race is at Michigan International Speedway, where Hamlin is the defending winner.